this is Ayogen Morning News Update. I am ABIODUN. Now to the headlines. Nigerians struggle to access 40,000 naira rice sales point. Ohanaheze Afenifere Arewa youth insist on reversal of petrol price. Reduce your ministers address insecurity, Tafawa Balewa tells Tinubu. VAT remains 7.5%, says Edu. Nigerians at breaking point, NLC article wants over petrol price hike. Senate panel postpones hearing on alleged sabotage in petroleum sector. Be strategic, careful with Chinese deals, Akinyemi Mogalu cautioned Nigerian government. We didn't use NAFDAC's name to deceive Nigerians, says Prophet Jeremiah. Teachers' recruitment give us chance to work. Persons with disabilities tell Adeleke. PDP knocks Kwankwanso for referring to party as dead. Presidency disowns yacht mode in France with Nigerian flag. Dark Sunday as dozens of Lagos-bound travelers killed in tragic Niger petrol truck explosion. Nigerian Army dismisses report of mass resignation of soldiers as misleading, spurious, baseless. More updates on the highlights after this short break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Glad you're still with us. Now to the news in detail. Nigerians struggle to access 40,000 rice sales points. Nigerians in Federal Capital Territory are struggling to locate the sales points for the 40,000 naira subsidized rice that is officially launched by the federal government last week. The launch, which took place on September 5, 2024, saw the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari, flagging off the sale of 30,000 metric tons of milled rice at a subsidized rate of 40,000 naira per 50 kilogram bags of rice. Speaking at the launch in Abuja, Kyari revealed that the initiative was driven by the commitment of President Bola Tinubu to ensuring that Nigerians do not go to bed hungry. Ohanaheze Afenifere Arewa youth insist on reversal on petrol price. Leading socio-cultural organizations in the country have warned the Nigerian government against possible consequences of the recent increase in premium motor spirit (PMS) pump price, insisting that it should return to old price. Ohanaheze Indido, Afenifere and Arewa youth in separate chats said on Saturday failure to revert to the old pump price would have grave consequences on both the government and the populace. On Tuesday, to find an overwhelming increment in fuel pump price, rising from around the previous official 600 naira to over 855 naira per litre. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) blamed the petrol hike on market forces. In some states, the product is currently sold as high as 1,400 naira, worsening the country's inflation. Reduce your ministers address insecurity, Tafawa Balewa tells Tinubu. In the wake of the economic hardship confronting Nigeria, a former People's Democratic Party (PDP) presidential candidate Dr. Jalil Tafawa Balewa has advised President Bola Tinubu to reduce his ministers. Tafawa Balewa said Tinubu should reduce the cost of governance to free up resources for development as a step towards putting things right. Addressing journalists in Lagos, he urged Tinubu to strengthen his cabinet with technocrats. The consultant nuclear chemist who specializes in food preservation said the president needs to be able to move with the times and put people that have moved out or have learned new technologies to be able to manage the different ministries. VAT remains 7.5%, says Edun. Minister of Finance and Coordinator Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, on Monday dismissed circulating report that the value-added tax (VAT) rate has been increased from 7.5% to 10%. In a statement signed by him, the minister confirmed that the VAT rate remains at 7.5% as stipulated by current tax laws. The current VAT rate is 7.5%, and this is what the government is charging on spectrum of goods and services to which the tax is applicable. Therefore, neither the federal government nor any of its agencies will act contrary to what our laws stipulate. The tax system stands on a tripod, namely tax policy, tax laws, and tax administration. All the three must combine. This will give us a sound system that gives vitality to the fiscal position of the government. Nigerians at breaking point. NLC article want over petrol price hike. The Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) and former Vice President Abubakar Atiku weekend warned that the increase in petrol price by the federal government has put most Nigerians at a breaking point. This came as human rights lawyer Mr. Femi Falana, SAN, yesterday urged the federal government to ensure the completion of rehabilitation of the nation's refineries by September 2024 or take legal action against the contractors from breaching their contracts. This is even as the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, also yesterday asked federal government President Bola Tinubu to direct the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) to immediately reverse the apparently illegal and unconstitutional hike in the pump price of petrol across its retail outlets. While the NLC asked Nigerians to revolt against the price hike, Atiku said the situation of the Afro Nigerian and the economy will be further compounded by plans by the government to increase value-added tax (VAT) coming on the heels of the recent hike in the petrol price. Senate panel postpones hearing on alleged sabotage in petroleum sector. The Senate ad hoc committee investigating alleged economic sabotage in the petroleum industry yesterday announced the postponement of its public hearing scheduled to begin today. Senate leader Opeyemi Bamidele, who doubles as the ad hoc committee's chairman, announced this in a statement in Abuja. He said the postponement was done to enable the committee consult widely with relevant stakeholders, whose input and participation would add value to the conclusion of the investigative hearing. The Senate leader also cited legislative exigencies aimed at further deepening due diligence in the conduct of the investigative hearing as another reason for deferring the hearing. The Senate set up the ad hoc committee to investigate humongous funds spent on maintaining the nation's refineries, beam searchlight on the regulatory agencies' overpayment to transporters, and unravel alleged importation of hazardous products and dumping of standardized diesel into the country. Be strategic, careful with Chinese deals. Akiyemi Mogalu cautioned Nigerian government. More details on the highlights after this short break. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Glad you're still with us. Be strategic, careful with Chinese deals. Akiyemi Mogalu cautioned Nigerian government. Nigerian and other African countries have been advised to be mindful of strategic national interest and take a more strategic approach to foreign direct investment (FDI) from China and other global investors. This is even as the President Bola Tinubu's administration has been cautioned to be careful with Chinese deals. The call was separately made by the former Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN), Kingsley Moghalu, the foremost professor of political science, Bolaji Akinyemi. The statements come on the heels of the 2024 summit of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation FOCSC held in Beijing from Wednesday, September 4 to Friday, September 6. The ninth Forum on China-Africa Cooperation Summit themed joining hands to advance modernization and build high-level China-Africa community with shared future, had Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu in attendance. According to the Nigerian government, Tinubu's high-profile visit to China was aimed at fostering economic ties and securing investment for Nigeria. We didn't use NAFDAC's name to deceive Nigerians, says Prophet Jeremiah. The senior prophet of Christ Mercy Land Ministry, Jeremiah Funfeyin, Sunday denied using the name of the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, on its spiritual items to deceive Nigerians. Funfeyin spoke through the church's media outfit called Mercy Land Television Deliverance Ministry, which issued a statement signed by Sophia Lloyd, faulting a media report by one of the national dailies online with caption NAFDAC investigating Pastor Jeremiah Miracle Water Soap DG, pointing out the publication was false. According to the statement, Christ Mercy Land Deliverance Ministry is a law-abiding Christian church and recognizing the extant laws of the land and even the NAFDAC in this regard, and as a Christian association, they are guided by Section 39 and 38 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that guarantees all Christians and their church the right to freedom of religion without interference whatsoever in this regard. The statement also asserted that the newspaper via online publication in the course of their story also stated the alleged NAFDAC witches to alert the general public on the activities of the church, and the church uses NAFDAC name to deceive unsuspecting public. We wish to state that at no point or their church has ever deceived or dishonestly deceived any member of the general public. All the church has done in the entirety of this issue is that the church right to expression of religion through the use of spiritual items. The church has never even produced or sell to members of the public consumable items in this regard. Teachers' recruitment give us chance to work. Persons with disabilities tell Adeleke. Persons living with disabilities in Osun State have charged the state governor Ademola Adeleke to consider the group in the ongoing teachers' recruitment exercise. The group under the AGA's Joint National Association of Persons with Disabilities, JONAPWD, Osun State chapter, in a statement issued by its chairman, Stephen Oluwafemi, also sought the quick implementation of the disability law passed in the state. According to the statement, the group urged the government to take immediate action to implement the provisions of the bill, particularly in the ongoing teachers' recruitment exercise. They call on the government to ensure that the persons with disabilities are given fair representation and equal opportunities in the recruitment exercise. PDP knocks Kwankwaso for referring to party as dead. Main opposition People's Democratic Party has expressed anger at former Kano State Governor Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso for describing the party as dead on Saturday during the inauguration of the renovated party office of the new Nigerian People's Party (NNPP) in Katsina State. Kwankwaso had said he and his followers left the PDP because it is dead. He also added that he wished to remind the PDP that PDP is dead because they left the party. Since they have gone out of the line, they decided to check out. In a WhatsApp message yesterday in Abuja in response to reporters' questions, PDP's National Publicity Secretary, Debo Ologunagba, said their reaction to the statement credited to Senator Rabiu Kwankwanso is that it is very inconsequential in the Nigerian national policies today, judging from the fact that he is struggling to lead a party called NNPP, which is also struggling to control only one state. Presidency disowns yacht mode in France with Nigerian flag. The presidency has reacted to reports making the rounds regarding a yacht spotted with the Nigerian flag in Saint-Tropez, a coastal town in France. The report circulating on social media claimed that a presidential yacht belonging to the Nigerian government is being used for vacation at Saint-Tropez. But a presidential spokesman on digital and new media, Ortega Ogra, debunked the report via his ex-handle, saying the yacht belongs to a private individual and not President Tinubu or the Nigerian Navy, as speculated on social media. Ortega said flags used by the president or armed forces do not contain the coat of arms like the one on the yacht. Dark Sunday, as dozens of Lagos-bound travelers killed in tragic Niger petrol truck explosion. No less than 48 people have been confirmed killed in a petrol tanker explosion that took place on Sunday afternoon along Lakpai-Agaye Road in Niger State. 50 cows were also burnt in the incident that occurred when the petrol tanker collided with a truck loaded with travelers. The Niger State Emergency Management Agency, NSEMA, which confirmed the incident in a statement, said the truck was carrying some people and cattle from Budil in Kano State to Lagos. The statement said 2 other vehicles, a crane and a pickup van, were also burnt in the accident. According to NSEMA, men of its rapid response team have been dispatched to the scene to conduct search and rescue operation, adding that it's believed that more corpses are still trapped inside the trucks. The statement said the 48 corpses recovered had been given mass burial in Agaye town. Nigerian Army dismisses report of mass resignation of soldiers as misleading, spurious, baseless. The Nigerian Army on Sunday discredited the viral publication on mass resignation of soldiers over corruption and low morale, stating that the publication is not only misleading but a deliberate attempt to sow seeds of disaffection and acrimony, as well as denigrate the patriotic service of personnel and reputation of the Nigerian Army. The leadership of the Nigerian Army also clarified that service in the Nigerian Army, like most militaries world over, is voluntary and not conscriptive, arguing that individuals are free and at a liberty to disengage at will. The Army explained that whereas reasons for discharge of personnel are confidential, they range from voluntary disenchantment, medical grants, pursuit of other professional interests and endeavors, and community services, among others. And that was Ayogen Morning News Updates. I am ABIODUN, but before we go now to the recap of the headlines, stay tuned, we'll be right back. Tuned with us. Now to the recap of the headlines. Nigerians struggle to access 40,000 naira rice sales points. Ohanaeze Afenifere Arewa youth insist on reversal on petrol price. Reduce your ministers, address insecurity, Tafawa Balewa tells Tinubu. VAT remains 7.5%, says Edun. Petrol price hike, Nigeria's at breaking point, NLC Article wants. Senate panel postpones hearing on alleged sabotage on petroleum sector. Be strategic, careful with Chinese deals. Akiyemi Mogalu cautioned Nigerian government. Teachers recruitment. Give us chance to work. Persons with disabilities tells Adeleke. PDP knocks Kwankwanso for referring to party as dead. Presidency disowns yacht mode in France with Nigerian flag. Dark Sunday as dozens of Lagos-bound travelers killed in tragic Niger petrol truck explosion. Nigerian Army dismisses report of mass resignation of soldiers as misleading, spurious, baseless. Thank you for staying tuned. Coming up is Ringtone Dono Felfel with Mr. Odedokun Isaiah. Till then, stay tuned and good day.